Hi everyone. At the moment, as you know, you are working on a project where you are expected to create a website about 4 countries of your choice. Initially, you are given this project as a one-page website. However, now we would like to expand it into multi-page website, and with this project you can compare 4 countries about any topic you want, comparing the way people greet each other, or it could be food from 4 different countries, culture, cities, mountains, or any other sensible topic. You are given an example code, but the idea is for you to customize that code and also learn from the example. Okay, for today the target is going to be for you to add a navigation bar with the 4 different cities or 4 countries at the top. Okay, I want you to add a navigation bar at the top, so we will work on that. So to create the website, the web page at the moment, web page is one page, but a website could contain, a web page is a website as well. It could be a website, but a website could contain more than one web page. So we want to add a navigation bar into this web page, and to create this, you have the HTML code, which gives you the structure of the web page and the contents, the heading, the footer area if you have any. We have not added the footer yet into this one. We have heading with h1 tag here, subheadings for the 3 cities inside the div boxes, and we have div boxes for the pictures and the texts. In fact, it would be perhaps a good idea to give an overview explanation of the code we have now before we add the navigation bar. So what do we have? As always, we always start with doctype HTML. This is to say, this is HTML5 document, which is the latest protocol for HTML language, and the HTML starts here and finishes here. Within the HTML, we have 2 important elements: the head and the body. Okay, so the HTML is the biggest box, so we have 2 boxes, the head, and they contain other elements, and also the body. So what do we have inside the head? In this case, inside the head we have the title, which is an important content, especially for web browsing softwares and also for search engines. When you search for anything on the internet, let's say for example Brexit, we are using the keywords, and then here what we see in this part is a title. Okay, so the title is important to create our website more accessible to search engines. Here we have a link to the CSS. So to link to the CSS, we need to use the link tag, but we need 3 attributes: rel for relation, href, and type. So rel should be equal to, within a quotation mark, style sheet. So to say this is a style sheet. After 1 space again we have href, and this one has to be identical with the actual our style. Okay, if I need to be in the right window, so the name of the CSS file should be linked with this one with the correct spelling, exactly the same. And we also have the type, and the type is going to be equal equal text CSS. It should come after just one space. Okay, now we have the title and the link, in this case within the head. What do we have within the body? Let's collapse the head and the body. We have the H1. This part is what actually produced this heading. This is H1 and this is H2 here. So this is H1 and this is H2. The code is H1 is here and H2 here. So the headings, and we are going to place here navigation bar will be within the header area. We'll do the navigation soon. Then each div, if you see this div, the first one is given the class city. So where are we having the class here? Because we have this div which is about London, the text, the two paragraphs, short paragraphs written here, and the div will have to start and finish, and the same for the city of Asmara, city of London for Asmara is here, and we have the heading with H2 tag, and this H2 is the same color as this one. How? P is for paragraphs and P is for paragraphs, and this div is like a container box, yeah, containing this box, and all the boxes are identical height and width. So how is it, each of them are given the class city, yeah, and here we have the picture of London, and with the, when we insert the image, by the way, we have img equals src, and the file name, but after that the name of the class for the image, city image, and I should have added here, to be honest, an alternative text as well to make the picture and the web page accessible, because VI users need to be able to access the website and should be able to know what picture is inserted. So here, if I write on the alternative text a picture of London, and that's the alternative text. I need to do the same for all, but for sake of saving time, I will not do it for now on this video. But I have inserted the image, and each of them are inside the box div class city, and each image are given the class name city image with this spelling. So how have we created the CSS? In the CSS we have said the background, we have given it this color and font family Arial. And city, do you remember the class city? For each div we want the margin to be 20 pixels. That's why we have the spaces between the boxes. And float left, that's why they are aligned nicely like this, to the left, like Beyonce. And padding 10 pixels, this is the space between the content and the border. Width and height is set, border 10 pixel, solid and red, that's how the red border we have. Yeah, I could change this color to, what color would be good? Say to yellow? No, yellow wouldn't be nice. I don't know, red is nice, but I need to change it in front of you so that you see purple. Purple is not my favorite color, but I could do that for now to show you, because I know some of you may like it. Yes, so it can be changed easily, but I will just change it back to red. Alright, and background color is given here. This is the RGB value, but the last one is weight of the opacity. 0.2 would be transparent. If it was 1, it would be too opaque, and it would give the solid color. And the border radius is what? So the border radius 60 pixel gives us a curve on the edge. If I actually edit that, instead of 60 pixel, if I make it 40, and then we can see the difference live, and right click and reload a bit, and I had changed the color as well, and the border has changed. Okay, so this is for the city, and for the city image, which is the class for each of the images we inserted. City image, it's written like this, so it's identical in the way it's used in the selector, and the width and the height are given 315 each, but the border radius 360 to make it like a circle. If we make it 400, will the circle be better? Reload. Because I resized also. I need to look into it and experiment about which border radius gives a perfect circle, but for now 360 will do. Use that. 400 also gives you a circle, but you know, if it's perfect, we need to check. Alright, for the paragraph, for H1, all the properties of the headings. For example, this is a heading size. If I make this heading 4 EM, 4 times the normal size, let's see the effect. Reload, it makes it too big, not nice. It's changed. If I make it 8, let's have a look. Reload, again it becomes out of the box, not so nice. So I'll put it back the way it was, 2 times the normal size. Yeah, and next we'll be doing the actual navigation bar. Okay, so to add the navigation bar, inside the navigation bar we have a list of links. So we first need to use a container for the navigation bar. So within the head we will use nav. We need to start and finish it, and then inside the nav we are going to use the UL tag. The UL tag to create the list. But inside the UL tag, what do we need? LI for each list. We need to start and finish it. I prefer to close as we go along. And then anchor tag, the attribute href, the first one, index.html. Close it. And home, but the actual anchor tag should be closed with what? With /a. Excellent. And good. So I'm going to save time by copying this one and pasting several times. And then I need to edit in for each links individually. Okay, So we will have an anchor tag inside the list for homepage for Asmara, Kabul, Tokyo, London. These are my choices. You choose your own. You choose your topics. I'm comparing cities, but you can compare countries or whatever. Okay. H1 for headings. Okay, no, I don't need to explain this now because my focus is going to be about the navigation bar. So I have added the HTML part of the navigation bar. Let's launch it in Chrome. Okay, so I have a list here, like bullet points, list of bullet points. So that is how it looks, my navigation bar, but I need to make it nice and horizontal. Let's see what we can do. Inside the styles, maybe I could add it here. I need to start working on the, you see, this is what I want to format: the nav, the UL, the LI, the anchor tag. So we'll try to approach it like that. First, let's take care of the nav. Okay, so what do I want to do with the nav? With the nav, I am going to nav. That's how it is. So I'm adding the nav selector. I'm starting the statements here, and the first thing I want to do is I want to give it a background color. So background color, and my choice is going to be E1, E1B1, E1B1 to C. Okay, and let's test that. It's making a difference. Already I'm given a background. Brilliant. So I can add more codes into it. I can give it a height because it's going to be a horizontal one. If I make it 80 pixel, it's big enough. You can change it, you can customize it how you want. Border radius, to give it a curve, maybe about 30 pixels. Let me try 30 pixels. And then WebKit, is going to, it has to be identical. WebKit is going to be for Chromes. Margin, margin left, auto, margin right, auto, and width, 80%, and margin top, 30 pixel. Let's experiment. Now the setting of the height may not be suitable for the reload. Okay, so we have the curve. It is in the center. It's in the center because I put the margin left auto and margin right auto, and the size is 80%. If I change the size from 80% to 90, see the change it makes. I need to save it, right click and reload. Okay, so it's bigger, wider. Alright, so after the nav, the next thing we need to style would be the UL. The UL inside the nav, because we could have another UL which is for bullet points. So the UL inside the nav, to find that using CSS, to select that, I will need to use nav ul inside the nav. This is how I would write it, and this is how you would write it as well. And the first code is going to be okay, it is unordered list, but we don't want the bullet points, yeah, because the navigation bar doesn't need bullet points. So we would add the list style type equal to none, and edit comment and block comment. If I say where I'm doing that, a navigation bar, doesn't need bullet points. And margin 0, padding 0. This is, to just reset the whatever the values that is set within the web browsing software. So we set the margin to 0 and the padding to 0 to remove any browser default settings. We could put that in the comments. Margin and padding are set to 0 to remove a browser default settings. And so we have coded the UL part, and what we have said is we removed the border list that is visible for us to check. Right click and reload. Oh, the bullet is removed and it's back to the border, right? So we are starting from initial values. So we have coded the nav and we have coded the UL. So the next thing to code is really the LI. Okay, let's go back to the style page, and here nav UL LI, the LI inside the UL inside the nav. We are going to start and finish the CSS statements, and then we need to float it left so that they are arranged side by side. So float left, and also to make sure the navigation, the hyperlinks are side by side, we'll use the inline block. Inline block would give us more control as well with setting the margins, yeah, and the height and width of the hyperlinks, so we can give them that button effect, as well as making them horizontal if we want to. Margin between the each LI, for top and bottom 5 pixel maybe, and left and right 20 pixel to give some spacings. And padding is a space, is the distance between the border and the actual content, and 10 pixel would be good. I need to put the colon. It's just like saying equal. Save, and let's check. Alright, so it is horizontal. It's becoming nice, right? Okay, we can still make it look nicer. So let's work on it. Promising. Then, once we have coded the nav, the ul, the li, what do we code next? We code the anchor tag. So we have to have a method to this. We could have worked in a random order, but if we work in a random order, we are not going to understand it, and we can make a mistake. Okay, so the anchor tag itself, now we will try to code. So the selector is going to be anchor tag. But which anchor tag? We could have others. So the nav, inside the ul, not uk, li, and anchor tag. Need to start and finish. So inside the anchor tag, what can we give it? We want to give it that button look, background color. If we say 29 F1 C3 and choose, or we could save. Let's have a look. Already like that, but we want to make it look nicer. Maybe we don't like that color. We want to choose a color. Where can we get the codes? We can go to the website flat UI colors, American spelling, and we can come to this website and British palette. Let's look for British palette, and which color shall we put? Maybe Protos Pylon. I don't know how they named it that way, but we will come here. Okay, we can change this color now with the one we copied from flat UI colors. Save. Reload. Okay, alright, we can use that color for now, no problem. Okay, the actual text color as well we need to code. So color with American spelling, we probably want black. So 000 will give us black. Yeah, change to black. And we need to code more things. We need to give it a width to make it wider. If 500 pixel would be too wide. 300 pixel? Oh, it's not working. What could be the reason? Okay, I'll go to the next part. Border radius. I'll just put a question mark here for me to come back to it. Come back to you. I'll try to stay in the classroom. By the way, this video is for my students who are working on a little project. Others could use it if they want to. Border radius for the navigation bar to give them a curve. 20 pixel, maybe it's too big. 10, I don't know. It has a little bit of curve, so I need to make it bigger. Font size, (1.4 em), 1.4 times the normal size, so it's slightly bigger. And the padding within it, we allow space between the actual text links and the border, so we'll give it padding left 30 pixel maybe, and padding right 30 pixel as well. Like to see the result? Yeah, it's coming up, and we can give it padding top and bottom then, because the button itself needs a bit of room. So but then edit top and bottom. I just copied and pasted to save time. Uh, 30 would be too big, so if I make it 10 and 10, reload. Yeah. Okay, it's coming up. And height, the actual navigation bar, if you remember, it was 80 pixel, but if I make the height for the the actual links 60 pixel, let's see. Oh, okay, it didn't make a difference. If I make it 80, let's see what it would that do. Again, I will put this question mark here as well. I need to come back to you. Alright. So I have done the anchor tag, and then when I put the mouse over the buttons, I want to see some change, interaction, so that it's actually when it's active, or when I'm hovering the mouse, I want something to happen. So inside the nav, yeah, inside the nav, inside the UL, inside the LI, the hover and A, and when it's active as well, I want the following properties to happen. Okay. Alright, the background color to change. Background color F0F. Reload. Yeah. So it's already, as soon as I touch it, it's changing the color, the background color. Also, the actual color with pink. What other, what can we shall we change it to blue? RGB, red, green, blue. Okay, so we can change it to blue. Just for the sake of demonstration, it may not be the best color. Red is 0, green 0, and blue. You need to research and explore how the RGB color system works. You need to convince yourself. Even though you can use flat UI colors, you need to understand it. Save. Oh, I'm trying to browse CSS. CSS is not about content. Reload. Yeah, it's also changing the text color from black to, yeah, so it's a bit of exciting, a bit of color. We can actually make the font size bigger or different. Yeah, it could be bigger. It could be 1.5 em. And border radius 30 pixel. And I need to do the WebKit. For Chromes. It will be the same. And run. Oh, I'm still again trying to browse CSS. Reload. So it's changing the border radius, making it more curved, and the color of the text in the background. So that is a very simple navigation bar. The actual link would work, but I need to create the pages. The pages I need to create would include index, Asmara, Kabul, Tokyo, and London, and then customize every web page. Yeah, but we could have another video perhaps about that. But now what I want you to do is just create the navigation bar with the HTML part, which is the nav, the UL, the LI, and the anchor tag with href. And then do the style, and the way we actually worked on the style. We formatted the style for the nav, the navigation bar, the main container, and then the UL inside the nav, and the LI inside the UL inside the nav, and the anchor tag inside the LI and inside the UL and the nav. We also worked on the pseudo classes called hover and active. If you want to know more about pseudo class, you could go to W3 School. So you search for navigation bar pseudo, not navigation bar, hover active. Let's see. And W3 School is a very important source, for all of us to learn more codes, including for myself. So here a pseudo class is being used. It has been explained here as well. A selector pseudo class. So the pseudo class we are using is a hover, yeah, or a active. That's what I used in this example. All right. So I hope you had managed to learn a bit more with understanding about navigation bar. I hope you are able to do it. Let me know with in the Google Classroom if you have managed to do the navigation bar. Also, if you had any problem. Thank you very much.